question, will I prefer the hormonal investigations or the ultrasound for monitoring the cycles? My answer is ultrasound. Um, yes, it is true that you can also monitor the cycles with hormonal investigations, but when you do hormonal investigations, that is when the reports usually come within 2, 3, 4 hours, even if they are the fastest. And if you are thinking about the time around the trigger, during this time the hormonal changes are so very fast that those 2, 3 hours also may and change the entire hormonal scenario in a particular patient. Whereas if you are doing ultrasound, it actually gives you the live, it gives you instantaneous idea about the hormonal milieu, and therefore it is a better investigation according to me. Moreover, even if you do hormonal investigations, you're not going to proceed at all for either starting the stimulation protocol or to give a trigger without doing ultrasound. So why not use ultrasound as a modality of choice? The pre-trigger progesterone has now become a very important, um, probably investigation, I would say. I think it's a lot of hype about it. Yes, it is true that too high progesterone levels may interfere with the endometrial receptivity, but we must also know that some amount of progesterone is required before the ovulation. We know that the progesterone level starts rising soon after the surge before the ovulation. Uh, it is actually the effect of this progesterone on the endometrium rather than the so-called 1.5 nanogram value, and this effect can be known by the fluffiness of the outer margins of the endometrium, uh, and of course decrease in the endometrial vascularity, which both are the signs which tell us that the progesterone secretion has started. Along with that, there is also minimal decrease in the endometrial thickness by about zero point 0.5 millimeter, and that is the third thing which tells me that there is a progesterone effect that it started. Unless the outer margin of the endometrium starts becoming hyperechoic, the progesterone levels are still within limits. So that's how ultrasound can tell us whether the progesterone present before the trigger is physiological or it is beyond the physiological limits. Usually, it has been a habit for us all that once we have done an IUI or we have done a pickup and an embryo transfer, we usually don't assess the luteal phase at all. But the luteal phase assessment is actually important. Assessing the luteal phase, or I would say the luteal phase abnormalities, will tell me whether what I have done during the ovulation induction and the trigger is right or wrong. So, for example, whenever you get a luteinized unruptured follicle, it means that the trigger is given before the functional maturity of the follicle. That means without checking the Dopplers, or it would also tell you. I mean, if that is not the case, if you have given the trigger at the correct time, the trigger agent might not be as effective, or the dose of the trigger might not be as effective. So that is what we call the LUF. So it guides you as to what you should do in the next cycle. Similarly, if it is a luteal phase defect because of a progesterone receptor abnormality, in this cases you get a normal corpus luteal flow with an RI of less than 0.5, but you're still seeing the endometrium which is less in thickness, which is hypovascular. If there's a vascularity, it has a resistance higher than 0.52, and along with that, the uterine artery resistance is also high. Now, if that is the case, that means the estrogen priming was inadequate. It again tells you that you need to modify your stimulation protocol, but it is also very important to remember that if the luteal phase is absolutely normal, that means everything that you have done during the ovulation induction and trigger is all correct, and you don't need to change the protocol. Even if the patient doesn't conceive, it may take about 2 to 3 cycles for the patient to conceive, even if everything is just perfect. We don't believe at all in checking the or confirming the ovulation before IUI, because if you have given the trigger at a correct time after checking the Doppler parameters of the follicle, which means the follicle covering at least two-thirds, preferably three-fourths of the circumference of the follicle, the vessels covering at least two-thirds, preferably three-fourths of the circumference of the follicle, and with an RI of less than 0.48 and a PSV of more than 10 centimeters per second, the follicle is not likely to go into LUF. It will definitely rupture, and it will rupture at the time expected for sure. So, and moreover, if you confirm the ovulation on ultrasound, you don't know how many hours before the ovulation has occurred, and we know that though the ovum remains live for 16 to 18 hours, its fertilization capacity decreases every hour, and therefore, if I'm confirming the ovulation on ultrasound, after that, if I'm planning an IUI, not only that, I do not know how many hours before the ovulation has occurred, but it would take me at least 2 to 3 hours for conveying to the patient to collect the semen, to prepare the semen and do an IUI. So I'm decreasing the chances of conception with IUI significantly. We never ever check the ovulation on before doing an IUI. Of course, we would do a mid-luteal scan, which would tell us that everything that we did was right or wrong. Yes, that is true. Whether it's IUI or it's IVF, the the criteria, the Doppler criteria for the trigger for the follicle as well as for the endometrium remain absolutely the same. Yes, it is true that IVF has multiple follicles, and therefore, in that case, it is not feasible to assess the flow in all the follicles. But what we do is we would check the flows at least in 3 follicles on both the sides, and this is a great help to prevent empty follicle syndrome. Empty follicle syndrome incidence of this is significantly reduced, except in some cases where we know that when the agonist trigger is given and the final meiosis may not occur, and therefore it may result in the true empty follicle syndrome, a very rare occurrence.